I know, I do too.
She got arrested for reading the Constitution yesterday.
This is insane. This is just insane. The police are beating up reverends, clergy. They are tasering students. They're arresting young women who have children involved in this mess in Iraq and this occupation. They're arresting people. People are literally self-incarcerating. I realize, I've been in a free speech zone, and I realize today that I have been self-incarcerating. They literally have me doing this stuff to myself. Now, you told a story yesterday on Chris Matthews, who's stunning me. I guess he's seen enough with a young student getting tasered. I guess finally his eyes are wide open, and good for him. I'm glad to have him on board. But you told a story about going to a Hillary rally, or what was it?
Oh, Hillary has the worst goons, and maybe I should say the best ones, because they're better than the Bushies are. You can get yourself into a Bush rally pretty easily, but Hillary Clinton, I think she's shown her staff the pictures of all of us, because we can't get near there. I was thrown out of a Hillary event for wearing a T-shirt that said, "Troops Home Now," and ever since then, I can't even get in the events, even if I'm dressed totally nicely. They've got our names and our pictures, and we come up and they say, "No way, you're not getting in here." We've had people thrown out of a Hillary event for holding up a sign that said, "Lead us out of Iraq now."
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, if you don't have the approved Hillary signs, you're not allowed to hold up a sign. They are really awful. They have goons that really rival those of the Bush administration.
We always wondered why there were no student protests. How come this wasn't happening on college campuses? I think we finally got our answer yesterday. And as far as protests in Washington, I've been a huge proponent of 2 million people in D.C. for a week. And now I understand. I mean, I've been there, and the experiences I have had have been pretty tame. I mean, I've never been subjected to arrest. I've never, been. But I know that you've been arrested. I know that Cindy's been arrested. I know that Colonel Marianne Wright, she is a colonel, has been arrested. But when I see them beating people, are they really beating women in the hallway of Congress? I saw the video of Reverend Yearwood, which is pretty unbelievable, and I've instructed everybody to go look at it today. But are they really beating women in the hallways of Congress? Is that true?
Well, there's one video up on our Code Pink website where we were standing in line pretty much like Reverend Yearwood. This must have been, about 6 months ago, to get into a hearing on the appropriation of funds for Iraq. And they threw one of our women down onto the floor in a really violent way. And when we went to help her, they threw someone else down on the floor. Now, I must say that it is unusual to see that happening in the halls of Congress. We do usually get led away, but the police are pretty professional. It's just sometimes you have a terrible sergeant in charge, or somebody just gives a signal that I don't know what happens. They just kind of snap most of the time, because I also don't want to scare people away from coming to D.C. Randy. We need your listeners to come join us. You can come and stay at the Code Pink House. If you go online at codepinkalert.org, you can see the applications. And most of the time, people have really great experiences here. They don't get arrested, but there are certainly those occasions when that happens.
Yeah, because I've had great experiences. I always feel, truly and totally American when I participate. Because it's not just it's not just you're allowed to question authority in this country. You're supposed to as a citizen. It's part of your duty to redress your grievances to Congress. So each time I've gone, I've always felt better about having gone. And I'm not
That's right.
Right, and it is an amazing feeling. And if you've never had that feeling, you owe it to yourself to be part of something that is meaningful, that is peaceful, that is just the spirit of doing something about ending this fascism that's creeping up on our behind slowly, incrementally, and has been doing this for 5-6 years now. You'll feel better about being an American. You'll feel more patriotic than you ever have. But these stories are getting more frequent. I mean, what is the problem with a T-shirt? How can people in America I mean, it's amazing to me. This is just incredible to me that a T-shirt what do they want us in burqas and quiet, and if our heels click on the sidewalk, we're going to be beaten by the vice police. It's unacceptable to me.
Well, that's right, and that's why we've been constantly fighting back, and that's why it is so important to go back again with the same shirt. But not go back one person, but to go back 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. Yesterday, there were 150 of us in the halls of Congress. And at first, when we were trying to come in, they said, you're too many people. We said, what? I have seen the AARP come in here, the National Rifle Association come here, APAC comes in here with hundreds and hundreds of people. They say to us, but we're a demonstration, not a lobby group. We say, we are not. We're a lobby group. We're lobbying to end the war. So we force them to let us in. We force them to let us wear our shirts, our hats with the sign on them. We really keep pushing back. Every time they try to stop us, we push back. And you're right, Randy. People leave here feeling really much better about things. They feel much more empowered.
Yeah.
They're not intimidated anymore by Congress people, by police. So it's a great experience to feel what it's like to be an active citizen.
It is. And you know what's really odd about the whole thing? Courts have ruled that free speech extends to big money contributions from corporations to politicians, that lobby groups are allowed access to congressmen even in their off hours. They can buy them things. They can send them fabulous places. But now it seems like free speech doesn't extend to speech or T-shirts.
And you know what else is amazing to me? That most Congress people don't even bother to have town hall meetings with their constituents. I live in San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi, it's been since January 14th, 2006 was the last time she had an open meeting with her constituents. And at that time, even back then, we said, Nancy, stop funding the war, and we want George Bush impeached. And she didn't like that being said at an open meeting, and that's why she's never met with us, any of her constituents, ever again. And this is true around the country. You'd think there would be some kind of law that said you have to meet once or twice a year with the people who elected you and you're supposed to represent. There is no such law.
Well, you know, we're giving the Rockies the right message about freedom, aren't we? You know, maybe about torture they're getting the right message, but certainly not about free speech or democracy. But you are, and, you know, I want you to stay safe, and I will come and join you as soon as I get a few days in a row off and do it again, because it does feel incredibly good to be an active, participatory person in your democracy. So, Medea,
well, thank you for having me on, Randy. Oh. We would welcome you anytime here, and our march is now taking off from the Blackwater office, going to the State Department, to telling them to cancel the contracts with Blackwater, and we welcome you and all your listeners to come to Washington to join us.
Well, thank you, and thank you for doing this. The contractor issue is just a huge one, so thank you for that, and I'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Randy. Big hug to you.
Okay. There you go. A little protest in the background there. Used to be good, healthy American fun. Now it's terrorism. Medea Benjamin, who is about, say, 5 feet tall. Maybe she weighs 100 pounds. Evil. Evil doer in pink.